Hello, docs. Shannon and Kelsey here from Roadside. We wanted to jump on a call together to show you what we see, a little behind the scenes, because we've been getting a lot of questions on why there's been so many changes with patient psychology, patients coming in, um, getting them in is a little harder, that sort of thing, and the solutions to what we're running into for over the past couple years. And the account managers asked us to reach out. And I talk about this every single day to all the new clients coming in, but we wanted to spend some time with our current clients that have been with us for some years to what's working for us, why it's working, why we're doing things a little bit differently here at Roadside. So we know ultimately we have very high-end clients and practices, as our clients. And so, of course, the main priority is first choice is ready to buy patients, right? Quality new patients in that. But when we scroll down to see what we're running into today is since 2020, I've been doing this since 1999. I've never seen so many changes, but here's our changes that we're running into. And there's a lot of benefits from this too. Is since 2020, social media channels have doubled, if not tripled. So while that's good for businesses, there's more eyes. There's also the negative effect that it's really noisy out there, and to buzz through and get their attention is harder. So how do we get their attention? We're going to solve that problem. Then people's, of course, their busyness, kids going off to college, bathroom remodels, that sort of thing. That's always been the case. It's their attention span is a lot less. So it's a little bit more overwhelming and daunting for them. And that leads me into something that's not on here is human psychology. Their psyche, their trust factor since COVID, they need a lot more hand-holding. They're not as trusting. They know that they need their health and their wellness, but it's taking, instead of 8 to 10 touches to get them to say yes, it's now 15 to 21 touches to get them to say yes because of the busyness and the trust factor. And then, of course, always the tight finances, right, that we're running into. So how are we solving these problems? If we go down to, yes, of course, dentistry, we see is going to 2 times by 2023. So no problem, we got you in how we're doing this. But Kelsey, let's go ahead and go over to how we're doing this is, or we can scroll down and show these clients that what we did for them is we became omnipresent on omni channels for them because everybody's coming in differently and building trust as a thought leader. So Kelsey, tell us a little bit more about the whole omnipresence idea of why that's working.
For sure. And the term omnipresence in business isn't a new term, but it is relatively new in terms of just dentistry. A lot of times it was mainly focused on retail, right? Like the large retail giants wanted to be omnipresent. I found a really cool article from Forbes that just kind of talks about the essence of omnipresence and what it means. And really, all it means as marketing is just that you're maintaining a very constant and comforting presence for your potential customers. So what we do in dentistry specifically is we create your target avatar of who you want to see in your practice. And then everything about your marketing becomes toward them. So now you're omnipresent. And then as Shannon mentioned, in omni channels, meaning that you're across multiple different channels so that your ideal avatar, your ideal patient is seeing your messaging everywhere. And it's being, making sure, like it says here, that your brand is visible across multiple platforms, reinforcing your message and embedding your brand into the daily digital experience of consumers. So like Shannon mentioned, 15 to 21 touch points is now needed if you're omnipresent and if you're doing it correctly, as we are now doing for our clients. You become that. You get all of those touch points naturally without having to come across as forced. And it's super powerful because it's kind of that, it goes back to that psyche, right? Like Shannon was saying, how that's changed. And it becomes known as like a familiarity bias. So If patients and even prospective patients automatically think of you before even picking up the phone to call, then you've already achieved your goal because you're familiar to them. They know you. LinkedIn actually had a really good article on this one as well. It basically means meeting your customers where they are across both the mediums and the platforms that they're on. And it's super important because it talks about just being holistic, communicating with them in ways that are different depending on how they interact with each channel. So very similar to how you might provide whole health or holistic dentistry, this is now whole health or holistic marketing, in that you're presenting your brand,
Absolutely.
you're presenting your services across all of these different platforms all at the same time.
And I would have to jump in there and say that the majority of your competition are not doing this. They're not doing this. So that's a huge way to win right now. A huge way is jump in and look at this with us, because we're just the clients that we're doing this for, we're building this strategy out, and each individual practice is just a little bit different on how we do the strategy. We're going to get to that. We're going to show you. But that is just absolutely amazing how Kelsey's team is working this out.
And it works. I mean, I just highlighted this little section of this paragraph in this article, but it's effective because you're now spreading your net wide. You're not just, oh, well, I hope that they Google my brand, or I hope that I show up at number 2 or 3 for this service. And then maybe they'll stumble across my service page. You're not doing that anymore. That's the old way of SEO. That's the old way of marketing. You're actually now becoming available in every single place. You can see some of the benefits here that come from omnipresent marketing. But the reality is, the more places we can get you to show up, not just in Google search results, the more chances you have of converting your ideal patient into someone that comes to your practice and stays with your practice.
That's too. And they're saying yes to treatment quicker because they feel like they know them, and they're referring their friends and family quicker because they coming in feeling like they know you. Sorry about the celebration there. Um, but I'm noticing there that the happier customers. I mean, let me just tell a quick story. Dr. Saba, one of our favorite, he's like, man, I came to you guys like what, 9 months ago, and I was like, I can't get any patients. Please give me patients. Now the new patients are coming. They're like, oh, hi, Dr. Saba. Like, I saw your videos. Like, he goes, I feel like a celebrity when these new patients are coming in and they're just saying yes. I mean, that's a huge win. But it's really strategizing that content, getting good content to being able to put it everywhere,
Yeah.
right? Mhm.
And I mean, I know this metric or this one specifically is again focused more on retail, but the frequency of being 250% higher on omni-channel versus only a single channel, like say just Google search, and also that the value of their purchase is also higher. So this is specific to retail, but in dentistry, we're also
Seeing
finding
it.
very, very similar in that the frequency of someone choosing you as your practice is almost 200% higher when you're using this strategy compared to just a single strategy of, I'm going to focus on Google search and nothing but Google search. And the same thing with the order value, or in your case, the patient lifetime value. Shannon mentioned, you're a lot more likely to have patients accept treatment that you're proposing because they already trust you. You already have the credibility built up by the time they come to your practice, that the lifetime value of a patient is a lot higher using omnipresent marketing strategies.
That's right. That's right. Did you have anything else to share on the omnipresent, or do you want to kind of show them the goods?
Yeah, no, I want to get into showing how we do it. So we've
Okay.
talked about the omnipresence, but this is how we've now turned this into a template, into a playbook, and how we can execute it for you.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're looking at your assets that you have. Maybe you've done a content creation with us. A lot of doctors have. And so or you have your own videos that we could grab. So we grab one seed content, like one video, one topic. And then if you're looking at the first touch points, we create 57 touch points from that. And what we're doing is we're like just smashing the buyer's journey with this, right? We're doing a blog. We're putting it out to a newsletter to your current patient base because maybe they haven't seen this, or you're not communicating with them enough. You haven't chatted up enough with them. You're not putting a newsletter out there. This is a great way to start speaking to them, right? LinkedIn articles for the professionals for high-end dentistry, repurpose content. So in doing that, we're also looking at the different personality types and the way people buy and build trust. And so notice here all of the channels that we're putting it on now, right? But we have to make it look and sound differently for each channel on what they're expecting there, and also with the personality. So you have title graphics, you have carousel, you have, what else is there, Kelsey, on the touch points? You have label post, you have the list, you have a stat, you have a quote, you have a trending. What's trending? Grab onto that. We do a short form video along with the long form video. You see how we do all the heavy lifting here. And now you're omnipresent. And again, let me just tell you, your competition is not doing that. And competition is getting fierce. When we're talking to our practices, they're popping up everywhere, or they're dealing with, maybe wanting, to hire an associate in there or add-on locations. So they need a better way to see that their organic growth is that they can see better numbers and better metrics in doing that. And this is how we're proving this out. So we would love to talk to you more about what seed content do you have? What strategy would Kelsey and his team create for you? If you don't have updated videos and photos, we can give you our partner's number and all his samples, examples of what he's done. He's done about, I think now, 30 of our practices, new ones and current ones, coming in over the past year and a half. And he knows how to shoot dentistry, let me tell you. And we get all of the B-roll so we can put it on social media. If you're doing campaigns with us, the campaigns department's using that. So talk with your account manager about how we can benefit you in doing that. And Kelsey and I are happy to get on a call with you to answer any questions about you benefiting from our new SEO competitive and aggressive packages with this 57 touch point. Thank you.
Absolutely.